Hi, Carol here, and thank you for joining me in my craft room today. This has been this is my fourth take. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because the door, the phone, so 4 interruptions. So my card is just about complete, I'm very sorry to say that, but I am going to run you through it because honestly, those things happen and you just have to move on when you make videos. You cannot start over because of the intensity of the card. And what I want to show you is this is a tea bag card. So what you want to do first off is get a tea bag. And that's what I did. I used actually a chai tea bag. I used trying to find my tea bags here. To get my liquid that I have, I used a dollar store strainer. I made up boiling water, made myself a tea, and then I stuck the chai tea bag. I put this tea bag, and this is a Lipton tea bag, one like this, okay? Lipton. And the reason why you want to use this one is because, just a second, it's not that one, it's the other one. Just a minute. I used this cheaper version. You can't use this tea bag because it's not big enough. When you cut this apart, it won't be big enough, but I did use it to get my mixture. And I'll show you that mixture in a second. As soon as my eyeballs find it. I bet you that's it. Right? No. You know what my craft room looks like, so I'm trying to work around it. This is what my mixture looks like with chai. You want to have this orangey browny color with the little specks of tea in it, because when you take your Stampin' Up! Ribbon, I use the very vanilla ribbon, the vintage ribbon. What happens is when you dip it in there, I used my bow-it-all to make a 4 bow, it's actually 8 loops. And I dipped it in there and you get these little dots through it from the tea leaves, and you blow it dry and you crinkle it up and you've got yourself a bow. Then I took this mirror that I got at the dollar store. I'm not even going to know what I said. I've made 4 of these tapes. But I took out the mirror part so it didn't glare. And I buy these for $1. And they're beautiful ceramic roses. And the reason why this one was $1 is because it had a chip here and a chip there. And I just took my pliers and took one off. And there it is. And I sponged it with some early espresso. See that? And it's going to match perfectly with this Stampin' Up! DSP. I love this with the swirls and the Baroque and the flowers, and it's just gorgeous. And it's not pink and it's not orange, it's in between there, and this matches wonderfully. So watch the thrift stores. Get those. You couldn't buy, how many do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and that would be 14 ceramic roses for $1. Can't beat that. Now, I'm just going to move along because this is a long card. It is 6 inches by 5.5. You want to take your oval die set. You are going to cut from the second from largest for your acetate, 2 pieces of acetate. You're going to cut 2 pieces of 2 pieces with the large of your DSP out, 2 of them. Sponge the edges. Then you're going to come down a size and you're going to take all of your papers that you're going to use to cover, and you're going to set them all down like this and take the next size down, and you're going to cut all the way through all 4 layers actually, to get an oval through all 4 so that they will all match when you put them on, right? So you're going to want to use this one. Then for the sentiment, I took the Baroque folder and I cut out this one and ran it through the embossing folder and did the edges. Then I took the smallest one and put our happy birthday sentiment in there. And I used the Best of Flowers and I used the Perfectly Penned. And then you're going to use this for underneath. And this, believe it or not, is going on the back of my card. My sentiment will be on the back of this vintage card. When I make vintage cards, I use the front, the inside, and the back side almost always. So there's the sizes you're going to need. Now, we've covered that. You're going to need some StazOn ink. I used and the tea bag. Now, I want to find my tea bag because that is the key to this whole thing, was my tea bag. It is one of those tea bags that open up. You have tea leaves on one side. Here it is. Here it is. So it looks like this, right? You rip it off of here, comes out of the Lipton tea bag, and then you cut it open, and you have all of this tea, and then you cut it down the center line right there. You open it up, and this is a huge tea bag that you want to have to put in the center here of this hole. And you're going to punch it, you're going to stamp whatever images you want on that tea bag. Now, what I did with the tea bag is I took 4 colors and I went over it with my applicator. 4 colors. I took Early Espresso, Blushing Bride, I took Calypso Coral, and I took Early Espresso and the green. I'm not sure which green this is. I took the Wasabi, and I lightly went over the tea bag. After the tea bag was dipped in my tea mixture. Take your bag, you dip it in your tea mixture, and once it's in there, take it, let it sit a little while, take it out, and you only put it between some paper towels. Don't blow it dry. See, I blew dried this, but don't do your tea bag. Just paper towel it. So then you sponge it. Then you're going to take some StazOn and whatever you want. I like the rose and the flower in that 25-year flower stamp set. I use StazOn Black and StazOn Metallic Gold, and I put it behind the acetate. Now the reason for this is, look at, it's see-through. It's see-through. Look at this, that tea bag. And so you want to have one acetate here and one acetate on the front. Put your tea bag in there. And the only reason I'm doing this, and I apologize, is 4 times I did this. Somebody's at my door again. So you're going, see, this could be 5. So you're going to take it and you're going to put the acetate on there. But this rose stamp is so intricate, you are going to want to, this one here, you're going to want to put your acetate on the outside, take your StazOn and do it on top of the acetate. So watch. Okay, there's nothing on there. So you're going to want to take your black StazOn, just so you can see it, go over the acetate. Okay, now I'm going to have a trim on here, so this isn't going to matter. The rest of the images are directly on the tea bag. There you are. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And it looks like it's right on the tea bag, but the other images are right on the tea bag. Then you're going to take it again on the outside of your acetate and go over this one. Because if you do this on the tea bag, I tried it, you don't get the distinction of the stamp, but you will doing it this way. Then you're going to stamp before you put this down, but because I've already had to do it, see that? Isn't that gorgeous? And that StazOn will be there. I wanted to have a rose behind here, so I put a piece of paper to match right there. I'm going to take that right like that. So you're going to, because I want to have it like that, I'm going to take a few glue dots wherever they may be, and you're going to glue dot this down. So let's do that. You're going to take this, put one there, whoop, put one there, turn it, and put it down. like that. Then you can lift it up. Okay, and let me get it in the frame, and I'll move it up a bit so you can see that. Right like that. Then you're going to take and just put them down the sides so this stays shut on there, like that. And then if you want to, see how nice this is? If you want to color that, you can. But I kind of like it black and white to match this right there. So let's open it up. Now, you're going to want to run another piece through your embossing folder, which I did here, and I put the early espresso on it already. And when you do the Baroque folder, remember to line it up. I'm going to show you here. When you do it, realize where this is going to go on here, which is going to be this way, like that. Take your folder and do half, and then line it up for the other half, because it's 5.5 by 6, right? Let me pull this back. So you do half at a time, lining up the Baroque so you can see it. So let's put that down. And if I hadn't, I use double-sided tape. If I hadn't done this so many times, I think my granddaughter just came in, this would have been fine. See what I mean? It's hard for me to do. Sometimes to do the card all the way through, because I just didn't answer the phone, which I should have. But I'm not doing this 5 times. No way am I doing that 5 times. And this tape works out well other than runner, so you don't press down and ruin your embossing on this. So, and I'm doing this standing up. So, you want to put this down over your acetate. And the beauty of this is it is vintage. So if you don't get it down, I just want to make sure here. There you go. And then you can put, look at this. Look how, can you see with the, you've got the roses, you've got the stays on gold showing through on your tea bag. It's absolutely beautiful. Look at that. Now because I put it on the outside here because I'm going to put a trim around there. So let's go with this one. Now you're going to take, I ran another one through, and I put it through the, this one I didn't, when I cut the circle out, then I embossed it because I wanted it raised, right? Let's move it there. I wanted it raised. But on this next one, I ran the folder through before I cut it out. So I ran the whole thing through the Baroque embossing folder, then I put it on here to cut, because I wanted it to be a very subtle background. I did not want it to be raised like this one. So let's put that on. Let's take this off, and then we're going to put the matching center on here. And this Walmart, this is my Walmart double-sided tape. It sticks like crazy. Okay. And 5.5 by 6, just to remind you of the size. And this is the third one in. Okay, so let's put this down. Wait a second. Sorry. I want to put this down first because I want you to be able to see this in the embossed area there. So let's turn it over. And let's put that down like so. Whoa. Get my hand out of there. Just a second. You only need to hold it on a little spot to stay. Make sure I'm getting this right like that for now. Then take your runner and put it on here. Turn it over. And let's get this down to the back. And I did it, I can cut it because I'm going to, there we go. You want it to be able to fold nicely, like that. Okay, and then you can just cut out with your scissors the excess on there. And then we will, I can't stop staring at this. It's so pretty with that tea bag. That's a close-up, really nice. So let's turn it around. Let's take some bigger scissors and let's cut this, and we will distress the edges. And with our distress tool. But it's better to be, when you emboss, sometimes it shrinks, so I made it a little bigger. There we go. So you want to take some, you want to take your distressing tool, like that. I guess after 4 times you get a little careless here. So maybe I should sit down on this one. Let's get our folder out, put it over here, and let me see where I am here. Okay. So you're going to want to distress this really well. Distress this. This is a vintage card, so you want to distress this. There we go. And then take some early espresso. And I'm going to use a little bit of the Calypso Coral because I want the 2 colors in there. Because of the DSP being that color. I want it to show through. A little bit of Calypso Coral. There we go. Beauteous. Okay, so now you have this, and let me get this. I don't want anything hitting my image. So I'm going to put this down, and I want you to see this here. Okay, then you're going to turn it over to the back side here, and this is where you're going to put, this is where I'm going to put it on here. I love to put sentiments on the back, not just the front. I like them on the back as well. So let's get this down like that. Can you imagine if this went into a part 2? Oh, I can't imagine it. I want it this way. So kind of eyeball it like, whoa, eyeball it like that. And then take your next one that you put through with the Baroque, see it there? And you're going to lay that out. Here. And because it's on the back, you don't want any dimension on there. And then your Happy Birthday, and this is all sponged with the Early Espresso and the Calypso Coral. There we are. That's going there. And that's the back. Isn't that pretty? I'm going to lay this down just a bit so you can see that nicely. Really pretty. That's the back side. Now let's work on the front of your card. So you have the back, you have the inside here, and you can add anything you want to that. Let's get a bone folder. And we'll press that down like that. And I really like folding that edge down like that with the stamp you used inside the tea bag, that tea bag there. And I like doing it on the acetate instead of the inside of your card. So now we're going to take some hot glue, have your hot glue gun, and we're going to figure out where this is going to go. And I already decided I want it on the corner like this. And then I am going to run this, let me do it now. I am going to run this out the sides. So watch how I'm going to do this. I want you to be able to see this. Okay? So you want to take, let's do this one first. You want to take a little bit of glue, any glue will do, and I'm going to raise it up to have a little bit of, I don't want it flat right there, okay? There we go, and then we can take some scissors and cut that off. And I'm going to do the same on this side. Just put a little bit here and a little bit here to raise it up. I hope you can see that with my lights. There we go. And let's take this one, raise it up, and this one up again. There we go. And cut it in the opposite way. There we are. Isn't that pretty? Then you're going to take then you're going to take that lovely flower, whatever I did with that, and we're going to put that on. And let me grab my, I want to look at this and see exactly where I want this to be. I think I want it on top of there, so let's do that. I may have to use E6000 if this doesn't stick, but we will see. Sometimes your glue gun will stick nicely, sometimes it won't. There you have that. Isn't that gorgeous? And then I want to cover this plastic that's up in there, and I will probably go around the whole thing with my flowers here. And then basically your card is done. So let's take some of our trim. I have so many bags. I had to use it up. I mean, let's just take it, set it over here, and this is going to cover this frame, and we will put some of the early espresso on it. So lift that up, and let's just go around this frame like so. So lift it up and add your glue, and this will help hold the acetate down as well. So you want that flower under there like this, right there. And then I'm going to cut this one off. I'll show you why. I'm going to add something in here. I don't want it, let me just check and see, do I want it all the way around? Yeah, I think I will. Change my mind. So let's bring this around. And this tea bag technique, if you go on www.inkstains.com, I think it is, even if you just look up ink stains, you will find her blog. Now her card was nothing like this, but the technique is there of using, you know, everybody's is going to be different. I just went off with the tea bag and coloring it in, stamping it, and these will come off, so don't worry about it. That was too hot to grab it just then, so I'll let it dry. Lift that up, and this way it uses up my flowers like that. So let's cut that off. I think it's supposed to be cut there. Don't cut your ribbon. There. And let's lift that up and put that down. Caitlin? Yeah. I'll be right down. And then you take that and you just take it off the acetate. It'll come right off. It'll peel off like that. And hello. And then you have the card like that, okay? And then you're going to take, let's move this out of the way, and grandchildren coming off the bus. I'm going to take this and I'm just going to sponge this a little bit up here. I think when I stamped it I forgot to do that. So you can go back over it. If some of the edges are showing, you can just go over it like that. Okay, so let's put it down. I'm going to mix this on top because you don't want that stark cream. Take some of your Calypso coral like this, and it matches identical to this DSP. Beautiful. Early espresso. Deepen it right inside. Calypso coral. Every other. There we go. A little bit of it on the bow. And there we have it. Let's see how this, I might add some pearls, we will see. But for now, I think it's good. Let me show it to you. We have that like that. And then when you open it, it is see-through. You have another style. Look at that showing through, that tea bag. I love this. Then you can add anything to this. As a matter of fact, I think I will take this and lightly go over this a little bit.
Hello?
Filming. And we're going to just do this. School time. Everybody's coming home. I told you. I'm not doing this card over. And then you might want to add a little bit in the center of your card. Give it some bling through there. And I don't know. I have to keep looking at it. For now, I wanted you to get the concept of the tea bag and the gold stays on. And seeing how, I think on this one I'm going to add pearls all the way around here. So if you see it, it will have the pearls. You want to keep this clean. And there's your sentiment on the back. I just think it's a pretty card. Let's start adding the pearls. That's when, I guess I'm not going to use this. I don't know. I had it all. Let's see. Yes, I think I am going to add it there. Let's do that. While I'm closing, I will put this on the bottom. Like that. My family's downstairs waiting. And there you have it. I think that's pretty. There we go. Take your scissors. I mean, you want to vintage this up, right? That's the key. And we will see you on the next video. Let me just show you how this looks. I will pearl that out. There you have it. Let me turn it around. I think that's so pretty. There you are, my friends. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to use these Stampin' Up! Pearls, and I'm going to stagger the large ones and the medium ones going around the inside of this card. I hope you give the tea bag a try. It's truly, look at it, gorgeous.